Heroes, villains. Titles such as these mean little to exemplars, for they are legend. Be it from ancient beings or artifacts, awoke long dormant in their lineage, or simply by sheer force of will. A spark of the divine blazes within their soul. Abilities, weapons, and divine signifiers that reach into the realms reserved for by the gods. How each wields their tools and titles is for them and them alone to decide. Gold or glory, they will carve their epithets in history, immortalized in the memories of gods and mortals alike, long after they die.
Aldrich Odindotir, the Hand of Heaven, the Warrior Angel, Marvel Rivals' first and at the moment only flying tank.
What in the name of the accursed Allfather have I gotten into?
Oh, hi, so I try to build characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
I have slain ancient gods and elder beasts. This should be easy.
That's the spirit.
Why are you glaring at me so, mortal? I find it unnerving.
Oh, that's the internet. They have a thing for large, powerful women. Lots of skulls crushed between thighs kind of thing.
There are dark forces at play here. I must be wary.
Just don't do anything to rile them up, and we should be fine.
Kneeling is acceptable.
They will. Do not test them. As always, we'll be going from level 1 to 20 with the free archetype variant rules. These are comic book heroes and villains, after all. While flavor is king, we try to get as close as we can with mechanics first, feel second, and re-flavor third. We are not aiming for the most powerful build, only the most accurate, but Pathfinder 2e is well built, and you by no means need to be optimal to be powerful, and this build will show just that. We start with the ABCs, Ancestry, Background, and Class. While normally we have an easy time figuring out our ancestry, as half the cast is human and half of the rest have good one-to-one parallels with ancestries, Angela is different. We have a lot of things to consider, and not just her either. See, Angela has two playable blood relatives in Marvel Rivals. The fellow tank Thor, and the DPS Hela. So whatever ancestry she is, they also have to be. Second, Thor and Angela are big. Not the biggest, but heads above everyone else that isn't a tank, up to almost double the height of some of the supposedly normal-sized characters. They are also wide, physically, taking up a lot of space, as a tank should. We want a way to get large if we can swing it, but Hela is definitely not large, so we need an ancestry that has variable sizes. We also want them to be from a different world or dimension in lore before we are forced to reflavor that they aren't from Earth. So, let's go down the list. We know they aren't human, we can cut elf and orc, and they aren't rats, foxes, spiders, raccoons, bulls, cats, horses, plants, lizards, snakes, fish, canines, monkeys, crows, or frogs. We can also cut robots, Azoketi, androids, skeletons, dwarves, fleshwarp, golema, fetchling, Serenge, Shish, and Suki, for various reasons. We can cut gnome, kishrishi, goblin, sprite, puppet, and Wei-Yang purely on size. This cleans out the selection quite a bit, but we still have 4 left. Jotunborn, Strix, Yaoguai, and Yaksha. We could systematically go through the pros and cons of each, but we'll just quickly go over and why I disregard each in turn. Jotunborn, despite looking quite silly, fits surprisingly well. Bonuses in strength and wisdom, which is fitting, for her and Thor, but sadly the only option to be a medium comes from a heritage. While we have yet to build Hela, limiting ourselves to not allowing a versatile heritage for her is too much of a no-go, so Jotunborn is off the table. Strix has wings and learns to fly, but none of the siblings have wings. Angela's is artificial, no Strix. Yaoguai are things that have been given consciousness and form. Could be the rumble of distant thunder, a 100-year-old blessed spear, or crow that has viewed the gateway to the afterlife. All very cool, and we can make versions of the siblings this way, but they have no size variation. Then there's the Yaksha.
divine spirit who emerged to Golarion from the First World, famed for resolute vows and prowess with primal magic, punishing those who threaten with bone-crushing fury.
With boosts to Con and Charisma, and more importantly the ability to become large permanently at level 17, the only thing we're missing is Flight, which is much easier to get than permanent size increase. It's not perfect, almost nothing could be, but it's damn close. The free boost we get from it will add 2 decks to max out AC after we get armor. However, we are not done. Angela has a lot of holy aspects to her, and is not an angel. So let's grab Nephilim as our versatile heritage, and we'll go with Battle-Blooded.
Crafted from the souls of mighty warriors.
You stood no chance against a warrior born.
Yeah, that tracks. Which will make us trained in Intimidation, and we get the Intimidating Glare feat. As for background, we also had a few options.
My birth and past are tainted. I fight to reclaim them each day.
She is Odin's first child.
The only spawn of Odin I claim as my kin is the infant goddess Lausa.
Kidnapped by angels as an infant, was nearly killed but somehow survived, and then raised to be an angel and a hunter amongst them. A warrior who hunted down the monsters and enemies of heaven. We could focus on her miraculous survival with shielded fortune, we could go royalty, but the vibes are very off. War Orphan is also on the table. But Angela spent most of her life being the monster hunter of heaven, so we'll go with Demon Slayer, boosting our strength and charisma. Trained in religion, and we gain the Recognize Spell skill feat, and add Abyssal to the list of languages we can know.
Actually, wait, this isn't the script.
Ha! Gotcha, bitch. That was the old script. You got nothing to complain about now. Get the fuck out of here. Class. How funny would it be after that intro describing an exemplar as I said she was a paladin? So what is an exemplar? They are someone who has a spark of the divine within their soul. They are not granted this power from a god. They themselves are the source of that power. Each has titles such as
Averter of evil, great sage equal to heaven, last born.
Each emphasizing a power or ability unique to them. And each has items so closely tied to them that even when seen alone, that item invokes their name. Excalibur, the Golden Circlet, and, of course, Mjolnir. While everyone mentioned are heroes, they're not limited to that. In fact, a strong sense of self-villain would make a fantastic exemplar. How do they actually play? Well, exemplars start with 3 icons. An icon is an item or signifier of your exemplar. Could be a weapon, could be a body feature, or even clothing. We also have a Divine Spark. By placing your Divine Spark into one of your icons, you empower that icon to accomplish deeds beyond what it could do in mortal hands. Each icon has both a passive Eminence effect and an active Transcendence effect. Both of these effects require your Divine Spark to be in the icon. You can place your spark into an icon by using the Shift Eminence action. You can do this for free when you roll initiative. Exemplar will boost our strength. Now, the rest of our boosts are going to be a little weird for the entire build. The best our dex can be is +2. Anything beyond that is a waste due to our armor, which I suggest would be Scale Mail. We can't cap Khan because she has the lowest health of any tank in the game as of writing. And we don't want to hit level 20 with any partial boosts remaining, so we have to juggle boosts like a circus act. Only because we want to be as accurate as possible. So now, for starting boosts, we'll go to Strength for damage, Con for health, Wisdom for initiative, and Charisma for something in the future. To wrap up level 1, we get 3 icons from Exemplar, and a level 1 class feat. Let's see what options we have for icons. If an icon requires an item, such as a shield or a weapon, we get one for free, so no need to worry about finding or buying it. For our spear... Okay, we have to address something here. This, right here, this is not a spear.
My sacred spear is ready!
But it's not. Look, it has a pointed tip, sure, which might put it in the spear or even polearm group, but this is a crossguard, or technically a crossbar, and I'm not entirely sure what this is. If it's sharp, like a blade, then that's a bearded axe head. If not, that's definitely a hook, none of which a spear has. So if you won't tell us what the weapon is, we'll just have to figure it out ourselves. So what do we see of it in rifles? Well, it hits from further out than her axes, suggesting reach. It is also the only weapon she uses her grab ability with, so some kind of way of forced movement, meaning it needs grapple or shove. And preferably in the spear or polearm group. That leaves us with 3 good options: a Beck de Corbin, a gill hook, and a boarding pike. Oh shit, no, that's exactly it. That's just it. Stats are good too. D10, shove, reach. The only thing we question here is that's a two-handed weapon, and while in-game it's shown her one-handing it, there's no reason she couldn't two-hand it, considering that she doesn't wield anything in the other hand when she uses it. So now that we have our spear, what do we give it? Noble Branch. While infused with our spark, it deals 2 additional damage per weapon die whenever it deals damage. When we transcend our Noble Branch for 1 action, it deals its damage die or dice again as long as our last action was an attack that hit. As for her axe, a battle axe works just fine. We'll get a second in a special way. As for her icon, we'll choose a Barrow's Edge. Passively, this gives our axes additional 1 damage per die, but if the target is half health or lower, it increases to 3 per die. And the axe rattles when a bloodied enemy is within reach. Its Transcendence lets us heal half the damage we just dealt as an action. It's not quite the same as our AoE heal, but just wait, there will be more. Oh, so much more. Her last icon will not actually be her shield. It's an important part of her kit, but it doesn't do anything special in the game. While we will eventually make her shield an icon, it's so unimportant we won't have it until level 20. Instead, our last icon will be Scar the Survivor.
A scar that commemorates a time someone tried to end your story and failed. A testament to your resilience and fortitude.
Yep, spot on. Passively, this gives us a +1 fortitude saves and the effects of the Die Hard feat, though we'll pick up that one later to always have it. Its Transcendence, no score but this, a kick-ass name for ability, heals us for 1d8, plus another d8 every 2 levels for 1 action.
This should cure my ails.
You might see the endless loop of healing she can give. There is more. Oh god, is there more. We also get the exemplar feat, Twin Stars, imbuing one of our icons, letting us split it in twain, giving it the twin trait, meaning we deal additional damage if we attack with a different weapon of the same type this time. Onto the axe goes. Both axes will act as Barrow's Edge as long as we have our spark in one of them. Lastly, when you're picking what skills you're trained in, we need acrobatics, and if for some reason you don't have it already, athletics. At level 2, we get an exemplar feat, a free archetype feat, and a skill feat. We'll grab Lightning Swap from Exemplar, letting us stow and draw our weapons/shield for 1 action. This will be wildly necessary considering how fast she likes to change from one to the other. And then for our free archetype feat, we will take a class dedication. We need a spellcaster with Divine Spell List. Witch and Wizard are 2 int focused. Champion and Cleric need a god to follow. She doesn't have a partner, so we can't take Summoner. Animist might work, but there's no way to get the focus spell from Custodian of Groves and Gardens, which is the main reason for taking Animist. Leaving us with Sorcerer. It's weird, but trust the process. We choose a bloodline, and while you might think Aesir is the right choice, yes and no. As we are only getting some aspects of the bloodline, there really is no difference between Aesir and Angel. We don't get the blood magic effect, we don't get the focus spells, and both lists of spells are entirely available to us simply by being divine casters. And in this build, which one we take does not matter. However, if you want to swap out one of the feats to get a Sorcerer Dedication feat that gives us our bloodline focus spell, you can. In that case, you want to take Angel Bloodline. Aesir is more focused on damage, and we're taking this to heal allies. We get 2 divine cantrips, none of which are needed for the build, but I suggest Divine Lance as it is very on theme, and Bullhorn, because if the whole battlefield doesn't know you're coming and shaking in their boots...
Submit, weaklings!
Are you even really playing, Angela? Oh, right, we also get a skill feat. We'll take Catfall. You see, when you fall for more than 10 feet, you take half the distance you fell as damage, and if you're damaged, you fall prone. When we calculate how far we fall, Catfall reduces that distance, going from 10, 25, 50, and then at Legendary in Acrobatics, we are immune to fall damage. We won't be going to Legendary, but we will be hitting Master Rank. If you fall more than 50 feet, you're on your own. At level 3, we start popping off, and we don't stop for the next 17 levels. We gain a root epithet, a title that all will know us by for now and ever. From here on, we are
Angela the Radiant.
'Tis time for the sun to rise over this realm once more.
Now, when we transcend our spark, which will basically be every turn, we heal an ally within 30 feet for 2 plus double our level. They are then immune for 10 minutes. This starts our never-ending cycle of self and ally heals. We get a general feat, which will be Fleet, increasing our speeds by 5. Oh, and Radiant makes us trained in diplomacy, but we're already trained in that, so we get another skill. We'll also be boosting acrobatics, so we take even less fall damage. Level 4. There are a few feats I would swap out if we were not trying to specifically build Angela. While Sanctified Soul is on that list, it's low on that list. Sanctified Soul makes us holy or unholy. Take a guess which. They won't come up often, but when we come across unholy creatures, we'll deal more damage to them specifically. Our free archetype feat will be Basic Sorcerer Spellcast, giving us a first rank spell slot, and we'll get a rank 2 at level 6, and at level 8 we'll get a rank 3. Which spell do we take then? Well, this early we don't have a huge amount of options to pick from. We want spells that heal and spells that we can set and forget about, but don't deal damage. There are a few options, but the two that intrigue us are Heal and Benediction. Heal is pretty obvious, but Benediction is a cast it and forget about it spell that gives you and your allies within 15 feet a +1 to AC, but you can spend an action to increase the range by 10 feet. Note, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't decrease in size after that, so if you just have a spare action lying around, do it. It doesn't matter which one we take now, it'll be our signature spell, and we'll have the other one at level 6, which will be that ranked signature spell. Oh, I guess I should explain what signature spells are. For every rank of spell we can cast, one of those spells will be our signature spell for that rank. Normally, if you want to cast Heal at rank 3, you must know Heal at rank 3. But a signature spell is ranked up and down to all levels, so with Heal as our signature spell at rank 1, we will have Heal at every rank from here on out. And we'll pick up Benediction at level 6. We also need to address that we've almost reached our encumbered limit with just our weapons and armor, so let's take the athletics feat Hefty Hauler, letting us carry more. And here we get our first boost with level 5. We'll help our aching back with strength, more health with con, int because of our juggling act, and charisma for casting. As for our ancestry feat, we'll take extraplanar supplication from Nephilim, letting us cast Bless once per day. Bless acts just like Benediction, but instead of AC, increases everyone's 2 hits. Our skill boost will go into Intimidation. At level 6, we pick up the exemplar feat, Flow of War. Once per hour, we get Sought Combat Quickened, giving us an extra action to stride or strike. This lets us set up our cycle of combat much quicker. As for our archetype feat, we need to take a level 1 or 2 sorcery feat so we can take higher level ones later. Unfortunately, sorcerers have notoriously underwhelming low-level feats, so let's take Widen Spell. This lets us increase our AoEs by 5 feet by spending an action. This will affect our heal spell and... well, for our list, only heal, but you can get other spells that it will function with if you want to swap some out. We also get a skill feat. At the moment, nothing is super necessary for the build, but I think we should take Intimidation feat Terrifying Resistance, making us resistant to spells from targets we've intimidated. At level 7, we add to our epithets. We can add Dance of Seasons, which gives us temporary health when we transcend an icon, or Born of the Bones of the Earth, which lets us immobilize targets when we crit them. It says we push them into the earth, but we could easily flavor it as our ribbon binding them. We could hum and haw about this, but if you look forward to the last epithet we get, that one gives not just us, but everyone within 30 feet temp health, and since temp health doesn't stack, we'll take the other, making us
Angela the Radiant, born of the bones of the earth.
This gives us Energizing Spark, letting us deal fire or earth damage instead of spirit. Well, she does have fiery temper, it doesn't seem to affect the damage she deals, so let's pick earth. Just being exemplar gives us a boost to the damage we deal with spirit striking. And with Unassailable Soul, we get a boost to our will saves because our will is too grand for others to overcome. We take Die Hard as our general feat and boost acrobatics. Level 8. We won't be taking anything from Exemplar, instead we'll be getting the Advanced Bloodline Potency, giving us a sorcerer feat equal to half our level or less. I grab Steady Spellcasting, meaning if someone hits us trying to interrupt us when we cast a spell, we have a chance to just keep the spell. This will be useful for the spell we're taking, being Warding Aggression, giving us a bonus AC versus a target we continue to attack.
Their attacks barely scratch me!
And we'll grab a new archetype here as well, Dual Weapon Warrior, granting us the fighter feat Double Slice, letting us attack twice with less penalties than normal. To wrap up level 8, we'll grab Aerobatic Mastery, letting us fly better, which we can't do yet. We'll fix that soon, I swear. And it won't be at level 9. Sorry. We take Glory and Valor from Nephilim,
Prepare to behold my full glory!
letting us once per day for an action gain health for hitting a creature that is our level or higher for a full minute. Exemplar buffs our perception and our DCs, and we move on to level 10. Level 10, we boost strength for damage and carry capacity int because we have nowhere else to put it, wisdom for perception, and charisma for casting. Our exemplar feat will be Journey of the Sky Chariot, and we'll put it on our Scar of the Survivor. We would love to put it on our spear, but it has to be a worn or body icon. It gives us our wing, and while we have our Scar imbued with our spark, we can float without having to fly, or take an action to remain floating. And when we transcend our spark, we gain a 30-foot fly speed for a minute. We will also gain flight by way of the fly spell later. Our free archetype feat will be a new one. We'll dip into the Fighter Dedication. Many of you may notice that this gives us nothing we don't already have. As I've said, I'm not making the best build, only the most accurate, and sadly we need fighter feats in the future. To wrap up level 10, we'll grab the skill feat Kip Up, letting us stand from prone for free. Level 11 gives us a general feat, and we want to start combat faster than most others, not only to set up our cycle of survivability sooner, but also to drag aggro from enemies as a tank. So we'll take Incredible Initiative, giving us a +2. Otherwise, we boost Religion and move on. At level 12, we take the exemplar feat Rapid Spark. Once per day, we can shift our spark for free, letting us move it to something we need more in a desperate moment. We also take a feat from Sorcerer Dedication, Expert Spellcasting. This gives us more spell ranks. We'll also grab a spell we wanted to take from the very start, Vital Beacon. It takes a minute to cast, but it lasts all day. Once per turn, you or an ally can spend the action to heal as long as they are adjacent to you. The healing is diminished each time, but it's still a good amount of, and as we make it our signature spell for this rank, we'll be able to cast it higher for more healing later on. We'll grab Battle Cry, letting us intimidate a creature for free at the start of combat. With level 13, we get another Ancestry feat. There are two interesting ones, so feel free to swap them out for each other. They are Wild Hair Fury and Orizy Worthy. The first lets us add our Wounded and Doomed condition to damage. However, Angela doesn't really deal more damage as she takes damage, so we'll go with Orizy Worthy, allowing us to cast Breath of Life once per day. Also, boost Intimidation. Jumping to level 14, we'll grab more AoE healing with Complete the Hero's Journey. Once every 10 minutes, when your spark has been in at least 2 different icons and currently resides in a third, you can transcend to cast the 3-action version of heal, ranked to half your level. That's 78 to every willing creature in 30 feet, and we'll get another die every 2 levels. And here's where we take a fighter feat. By taking Basic Maneuver, we'll finally focus on our spear with Brutish Shove, letting us strike, then make them off guard, and freely shove them. I suspect Angela finds death less as something to be scared of and more of something to be infuriated by, so let's grab Too Angry to Die, an intimidation feat that lets us intimidate an enemy for free after we stand from being unconscious, which we can do for free using Kip Up. Synergies. Our boost for level 15 is Strength for damage, Int, I know it feels weird, but we literally can't put it anywhere else, Wisdom for perception, and Charisma for spell DCs. Boost Religion, and our general feat will be Divine Guidance, letting us consult the ancient texts of heaven for insight into a problem. Finally, we get our last epithet. With it, when we transcend our spark, any creatures we choose within 30 feet get 10 temporary health and stabilize if they are below 0, making us
Angela, the Radiant, born of the bones of the earth, healer of the world.
On to level 16, we take Exemplar feat Crown of Rule.
I serve as Queen of the 10th Realm.
And we must put it into our score. The Score of Rule doesn't give us a passive ability unlike the rest, but for 2 actions we can transcend, making a 15-foot burst somewhere within 60 feet. All enemies will then have to make a will save or take spirit damage equal to our level. Not a huge amount, but what's more interesting is if they fail, they must kneel and fall prone as a free action.
Heaven falls!
Yeah, this makes a good facsimile of our ult, especially if you follow it up with the crit immobilizing them, which will be easier with the feat we take from Dual Weapon Warrior, 2-Weapon Flurry, letting us strike twice, once with 2 different weapons for 1 action. We could swap this out for Bloodline Breath from Sorcerer, but I wanted to focus on ult, so we'll take that at level 18. You can pick whatever skill feat you really want, but the one I've gone with is Acrobatic Performer, letting us roll acrobatics instead of performance.
Omona, that outfit is amazing! You have to hook me up with your stylist, Angela.
Oh, hi Luna. I wasn't expecting you here for a long time, but I do have some ideas about...
This armor was forged in heaven and weathered on the field of battle for centuries.
Then it should hold up fine for a few hours on stage, right?
I am a warrior goddess, not a fashion icon. And though you are correct, I do look good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll catch up with you later, Luna. She's very busy. Okay, yeah, we get another spell, pick up Fly, and of course this will be our signature spell, so eventually we can cast it for an hour. At level 17, we get our last Ancestry feat, and her brother Thor will be getting the same one, Strength of 8 Legions. Has us meditate in a cave for 24 hours with our weapons, focusing on the vow we have taken with ourselves. We gain the strength to enact our vows. Ours will impermanently cast Enlarge on us and give us a boost to our maximum health. We may not be able to do so with every tank, but we aim to make the tanks that are large in-game large out-of-game. Level 18. We'll expand the amount of spell slots we have by taking Bloodline Breath from the Sorcerer dedication instead of an Exemplar feat. This gives us another spell slot in each rank except for our 2 highest ranks. And we don't want anything from Dual Weapon Warrior or Fighter, so let's grab Master Sorcerer Spellcasting, increasing our maximum rank of spells we can cast. We don't need any other particular spells for the build, so grab what you like. We mostly want to strengthen the spells we already have more than anything. With level 19, we have our last general feat with Sanguine Tenacity, meaning that enfeebled and drained affects us less, we take less bleed damage, and remove persistent bleed damage easier. Our final level, level 20. Boost Dex to finally cap out our AC, Con to get more health, Int because it's the only one available, and Wisdom for Perception and Initiative. Our capstone exemplar feat will be Cutting Without Blade. Our icons disintegrate into golden light. Any icon feat we've taken now applies to any applicable icon we have, not just one. And you can immediately retrain any icon feat you selected more than once. Each day during your daily preparation, you can select one icon feat from 16th level or lower and gain it temporarily for the day. You can place your Divine Spark into any object in your possession, even a non-threatening object like a single strand of grass, to transform into a fully functional copy of your icon, made out of pure Divine Radiance. You can do this as a free action immediately before or after striking with or otherwise using the icon. The free feat you get every day, I suggest grabbing the level 1 feat additional icon and grab Mirrored Aegis. And finally, we grab Quickened Casting from Sorcerer, meaning we can cast lower rank spells quicker in the heat of battle. And there she is, Marvel Rivals' own Muscle Mommy. Angela the Radiant, born of the bones of the earth, healer of the world, the hand of heaven. I have honestly never made a build I wanted to try more than this one. A melee-focused tank that refuses to let the team die by constantly healing everyone simply by doing her job, rushing down enemies and putting the fear of heaven into them. So, go out there and make them
Submit!